Hi everyone, my name's Daniel Littlechild. I'm a lead volunteer for the East for Red Rose Recovery, based in Accrington. I currently am doing groups during the week while we're in isolation and running my own wellbeing group on a Friday. I just want to talk about my journey into recovery, really. Um, I had a pretty good upbringing at home. Had a complete family situation with my dad there, my mum there, and my brother there. We had a nice house. We grew up in a lovely village. Uh, my childhood was a good childhood. I have nothing to complain about for my childhood. I always wanted to play football. My interests with football were just, that's all I wanted to do was play football. And unfortunately, I didn't make it because I had an injury with my knee when I was 13. So I think that had some sort of effect on the start of my drug using. I started using recreational drugs like cannabis, taking ecstasy, all the recreational drugs that you do with your mates in the park, getting drunk and stuff like that. I left school with very minimal GCSEs, uh, but I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a plumber. So I left school at 16, went to college, gained my MVQ2 in plumbing, worked for a couple of companies, and then was poached by British Gas when I was 21, 22. Um, I'll talk about that more in a minute. So from the age of 16 up to the age of 21, 22, um, my drug use escalated. Started using more harder drugs. By the time I was 18, I was smoking heroin, I was smoking crack. Um, we had a lot of guys in our village that become dependent on it. So it was just a norm for us. Um, so when I was 21, I lost my mother. I lost my mother to cancer, and it had a major effect on me. Um, I couldn't accept that my mother had gone. I found it very difficult to deal with any sort of feelings whatsoever. So I masked those feelings by continuing to use heroin. And 3 months after my mum died, my best friend drowned in a bath. The knock on effect from that was I didn't stop using. I used more. I used more. Um, just after my mum died and I started working for British Gas, my using was so out of control that I was manipulating customers. Uh, I was taking tools and selling tools um, out of the back of my van just to fund my drug habit. Um, it wasn't a pretty time, and I was with British Gas for 3 years. I kept it under the radar while I was there. Um, but one day I just had to say to my boss, I had to turn around and be honest and just say, look, I've got a drug problem. I need help. They gave me 6 months off. I went down to my uncle's who lives just outside London. They paid me for the 6 months while I was off, and I had to do drug tests the last month and pass all my drug tests. I passed all my drug tests, and they still let me go. Uh, it hurt me. You know, I'd been doing this job since I was 16, and I love doing it. But that's the effect that drugs have on you. You know, you lose everything. I lost my connection with my family. I lost my job. I was losing friends left, right, and centre. So after after losing my job with British Gas, I went to Nottingham. I had family and friends who lived in Nottingham. Um, my nan, God bless her soul, lived in Nottingham, and I went there to be a bit more near my nan because my nan was a massive support. She never turned her back on me. She didn't know the extent of my drug using because obviously the behaviours that come with it are lying. I used to lie to my nan, and tell her everything was okay when it wasn't. Uh, my brother, he he had a similar problem from the age of sort of 18 up to 23, 24. He got to Nottingham and did his detox. He did his detox within a month or two and hasn't used drugs since. And I looked at that as a massive inspiration. I thought, well, if he can do it, I can do it. So I went up there, I tried. It didn't work out. Whenever it didn't work out at Nottingham, I'd always ring my dad. I could come back to my dad's. I could do a bit of a detox at my dad's. And then, I'll probably just start an argument with him just so I can make some excuse to get off and use again. I didn't know anything about recovery. I didn't know anything about fellowships or anything like that. So, the next 10 years after that were just drug using, drug dealing, in and out of jail, being homeless on the street. It's not been an easy 20, 25 years of using drugs for me. It's just brought me absolute misery and pain. So at the age of 35 or 36, I found myself in the middle of Nottingham, homeless, really down and out. I came back to my dad's, I tried again. I've always had it in me just to keep trying, and always thought one day I'll get it. One day I will get it. But it never worked out. After losing my best friend in the end of September 2017, I just got out of jail. 2 weeks later, my best friend died. He had cancer. He had cancer for over a year, probably 2 years. And losing him was a massive wake-up call for me. I guess it gave me that motivation because he'd left his son behind. And I said to him on his deathbed, I'll be there. I'll be a role model for your son. That's what I want to do. Don't worry, I'll sort it out. And me speaking those words to him while he was on his deathbed just rings something in my head to say, you need to do something. You need to get serious with this stuff. So this is what I did. I went to the Wellbeing Hub in Nottingham. I put my hands up and I said, I need help. I need a rehab. That's what I need. I can't do it out in the community. I've tried this and I've tried that and it's never worked. So they set me up with a rehab in Lancaster called Littledale Hall. The day I got the brochure through the door, and if anyone's ever seen the brochure for Littledale Hall, it's a picturesque house on the hill type setting. It's very isolated, but it's nothing but good, positive stuff that comes from there. So I ended up getting in there in May 2018. I spent 4.5 months in there. I came with a busload of behaviours. I didn't want to listen to anyone. I didn't want to engage with anyone. I spent the first 2 weeks ill because I'd messed up my own detox. But, I survived it. I kept my arse on the seat and I said, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. No matter what happens to me in there, I'm not going to quit. And I didn't quit. I came out of there in November 2018 to Accrington, to St Jameses. That was like the second stage house with Emerging Futures. They were fantastic. They really taught me about recovery. They gave me tools, additional tools, what Littledale have given me. And they helped me build my recovery capital. So I had a great recovery capital. I started volunteering for Red Rose probably in December or January. The first time I went to Red Rose just to find out a bit about them, I had a conversation with one of the staff members there, and They invited me to the DDN conference. We went down to the DDN conference. A few months later, we went to Birmingham. Red Rose have taken me to an ICANN event, which Richard McCann held. You know, we got to walk on fire, hot burning coals, which was a magical experience. We learnt stuff there from other people sharing stories and how inspirational those people are. And hearing an inspirational story really motivates you to try and be inspired and give something back to help inspire someone else who might be struggling. So we did those wonderful things with Red Rose. They made me the chair for the East of the Luff, which was an amazing experience. And then, because I was in a relationship from rehab, it wasn't the best relationship for me to be in. I was warned by other peers, members of staff, that it wasn't a good idea. But did I listen? I didn't listen. I ran on my own will, and where it got me was picking up drugs again. I had to leave St James's. I had to move in with my girlfriend, and because she was using, you know, they always say if one uses, the other one's, you know, it's in the post, and that's what happened to me, unfortunately. I was back out there for 8 months. Had your thoughts of committing suicide. You know, it was a dark and lonely place. I lost all my connections with everyone. Recovery capital, I didn't have any. I was isolated beyond belief, living in a flat with just a mattress and my phone, basically. So I made a conscious decision in December, after weeks and weeks of thinking, how am I going to do this? I can't bring my dad up again, and you know, I don't want to hear that disappointment in his face, in his voice. But you know, I need to do something about this. So I made a conscious effort to ring him in December, and I said, Dad, I'm going to save up some methadone. I'm going to come down. I'm going to do my detox. I'm going to learn from my mistakes, what I didn't do the last time, and will you give me that opportunity? My dad, without even a second thought, said, yeah, come down here, please do your detox. We'll have a great Christmas together. Then you can go back up to Lancashire and continue doing what you were doing before, fresh. So I arrived to my dad's Christmas Eve 2019 with 300 or 400 mils of methadone. Absolutely scared that I weren't going to do it properly, scared that I was going to be ill. I'd had to engage with family over that time. I didn't want them to see, because they come and visited me in rehab, and when they come to visit me in rehab, they saw me, they saw the brightness that I was, I don't know how to describe it. They just saw me glow. And I didn't want them to see me back grey, underweight, broken again, after I thought, from being complacent, that I was fixed, and I wasn't fixed. So December the 24th, I started my detox. I did a rapid detox at my dad's. I was off it within 11 days. So I had a clean date of the 2nd of January. I was aiming for the 1st, and I was like, damn it, I couldn't get the 1st. But, you know, it's just a day at the end of the day. So I've been clean since the 2nd of January. And the day I got back to Lancashire was the 19th of January. And I sat and had a conversation with someone on the Wednesday, just before a luff, to be fair. That gentleman turned around and said to me, oh, so you're back now? I said, yeah, I'm back, but I need to do it in my own time. It might take me a month, it might take me 2 months. And he respected me for not jumping in straight at the deep end and getting overwhelmed with this and overwhelmed with that. and I've had no pressure from Red Rose to do absolutely anything. Everything that I've done and I continue to do has been off my own back, and because I've wanted to and because I'm passionate about it. So today I'm almost 3.5 months back in, sober, clean, off street drugs, and I'm thriving again. You know, I'm at a place in my life where I can be a support. I've gone from a down and out drug user back to being helpful and supportive. And I touched on it earlier that I run my own group through the current climate that we're in at the moment. I run my own group on a Friday. For these last 2 days, I've been asked to facilitate the groups over in Preston. So, you know, I must be doing something right, and people are seeing that I'm doing something right. So if I've got a message for anyone, just believe in yourself and you will see other people believe in you. And then that gives you the hope and that gives you the strength to drive on and become a useful human being. And I'll leave it there. Thank you.